Question 13. Solve 3y plus 2x equal to 5 and y minus 5x equal to 13 simultaneously. And this was taken from WASSCE Nov 2019 Objectives question 16. The first option, we have x equal to -2 and y equal to 3. Then B, we have x equal to 2 and y equal to 3. And then C, we have x equal to 3 and y equal to -2. And then D, we have x equal to 1 and then y equal to -2. So let's see how we would solve this simultaneously. So first of all, we write our first equation down. We have 3y plus 2x equal to 5. Let's name it equation 1. And then the second equation, we have y minus 5 equal to 13. Let's also name this one equation 2. And now from the equation 2, we can easily make y the subject. In this case, we are going to use the substitution method. You may also use the elimination method to try it as well. But in this scenario, I prefer to use the substitution method since it is easier to make y the subject. Now to proceed further, from the equation 2, y is simply equal to 13 plus 5x. And then when we substitute it into equation 1, we are going to have 3 multiplied by the sum of 13 and 5x plus 2x equal to 5. And now when we open the brackets, or when we expand, we are going to have 39 plus 15x and then plus our 2x, which was already there, equal to 5. And now subtracting 39 from both sides, we are going to now have 15x plus 2x equal to 5 minus 39. Simplifying further, we now have 17x is equal to -34. Now dividing both sides of the equation by 17, we are going to have the expression as shown below, and that would imply that x is equal to -2. And now substituting x is equal to -2 into equation 2, it will now imply that y minus 5 multiplied by -2 is equal to 13. Now multiplying -5 by -2, we now have the expression simplified as y plus 10 equal to 13. And now subtracting positive 10 from both sides, we are going to have y equal to 13 minus 10. And that now simplifies to y equal to 3. Therefore, x is equal to -2 and then y is equal to +3. Now it is obvious that the right option is going to be option A. Let's now look at how to use a calculator to solve this. Now, let me press AC to clear out the screen. And now to solve the two equations simultaneously with our calculator, we'll first of all need to press the mode key and then select option 5, which is equations. And now option 1 represents simultaneous equations in 2 variables, the linear ones. So press 1. And now the matrix we have on our screen represent the various values, or the various coefficients and constants in both equations. Now we have A here, and then we have B, and then we have C. Normally A is a coefficient of x, B is a coefficient of y, and C is a constant at the other side of the equation. Now this question was to play a little mind games with you. Now if you key in 3 in place of A, and then 2 in place of B, and then 5 in place of C, and then you repeat the same for the second equation, you are going to have the x value being the y value and the y value being the x value. So we are not going to confuse ourselves with that. We are just going to make sure that once A is a coefficient of x, we we key in the coefficient of x in the required equation. So in our equation 1, what we'll simply do is that we press 2, alright, under the a for equation 1, and then press equal to, since a is the coefficient of x, not the coefficient of y, and then under the b, rather key in 3 for the equation 1. Then the constant, we key in 5 and then press equal to. Now the same applies for the second equation. Instead of starting with y, we are going to start with the x. So we press -5 and then equal to, and then the coefficient of y obviously is 1. We press it there, 1, and then press equal to, and then the constant is 13. We also press 13 and then press equal to. Okay, then we press equal to for the first time, and then we have our first value, which is x equal to -2, and then we press equal to again, and then we have our second value, which is y equal to +3. So obviously the answer has been confirmed that of course it is option A. And I've always advised that you should learn to use your calculators in solving some of these questions so that you can save time in the examination hall. Let's proceed to the next question.